What is up, everybody? I hope you can hear me okay. I have been doing quite a few tasks out in the garden this afternoon, including propagating a bunch of strawberry runners, and I took soil out of some other containers and put in this container, and then I put new soil in this container and filled the other containers that I took soil out of with new soil also. But it is an exciting day when I'm going to plant outside for the fall garden, which has already happened this season, but you know, it's still exciting. I am trying to figure out what I want to plant in this container. I think I'm going to start with maybe like 2 rows of carrots on the outside, 1 kale plant on either side, and I think I'm going to try to start some Brussels sprouts in the center, because all of the Brussels sprouts that I've started indoors are very, very leggy, and if the sun outside is better, why not try and start them in here? So I think I'm going to do like 2 Brussels sprout plants, kind of like that, you know, more evenly spaced, so I guess kind of like that. And then I'm going to do 1 kale plant on either edge and 2 rows of root vegetables in the front. I say root vegetables because I'm thinking carrots, but I could do parsnips or rutabagas or beets or radishes. But of all of those things, we eat carrots the most. And I don't know how to cook everything of the other ones, so I might as well start with the ones that I know what to do with, I think. But I do already have some carrots planted. Radishes are really quick, so I think I'm actually going to do a few rows in the middle, this direction, a few inches apart so they have room in the soil to grow. And I think I'll do some kind of radishes there in the middle, probably the French breakfast radishes because they're the fastest. I also have daikon radishes. Then I think I'll do 1 line in between the Brussels sprouts and the kale plants like this. I will bring you closer here in just a second to give you kind of a better view of what I'm talking about. And by just a second, I mean right now. So this is the container we're working with. And from this angle, I believe you could see the lines better. So there's a hole here that's going to be kale, a hole here that's going to be Brussels sprout, another hole here that's Brussels sprout, and another hole at the end that's kale. And then a line dug all the way across that back and all the way across the front that I'm going to do carrots. 3 lines going this way in the middle that are going to be radishes. And I think I might do parsnips or a different kind of radishes for these lines in between the kale and Brussels sprouts. But I tried to leave enough space in between that by the time these radishes are done, these can have that soil space. I didn't put tags on the other carrots when I planted them, but I do remember that one of them was Uzbek golden carrots, and I think the other one was little finger carrots, and I do remember that I forgot to bring out the oxheart carrots. But I have another shallow container over there that I'm going to put the oxheart carrots in because they don't need as much depth. If you don't know what an oxheart carrot is, this is why they don't need as much depth. They're just really short, fat carrots. So I'm going to put those in the other container. I have 2 kinds of kale, so I'm just going to put 1 kind at each end. I don't often start my seeds outside because of my sunlight situation. If you don't know, I only get between 4 and 5 hours of direct sun at any given area in my garden, and 6 to 8 hours is what's considered full sun. So I'm just hoping that the intensity of the light is so much different out here that they don't get leggy. So over here I'm going to put 2 seeds for dazzling blue kale and gently cover. And then put back the rest of the seeds. I know what you're thinking. Alex, you didn't bring your tags out here. You already forgot what carrots were in there, so what are you thinking? You're wrong. I did bring them. So, oh, and I also brought my UV resistant marker. So I'm going to write dazzling right here. One down, bunch to go. Oh, I gotta get something to sit on or something. Okay. This little garden table has been useful for lots of things, including a seat, but now I'm gonna have to change the camera angle. I think you should be able to see me okay. If my head is cut off or something, I'm sorry. But now that you can see my mess on the ground, we're gonna plant 2 seeds of Nero Toscana kale on the opposite side of where the other ones are. So these 2 Nero Toscana are gonna, I know you can't see it, but they're gonna go all the way on this side, opposite of this. So it's right against the edge over here. And I'm just doing 2 in case of germination issues, which I don't think I'll have, but it's just a case. And then tag. Can't believe August is almost over. It's going quick. But I'm really excited for the fall garden because I didn't really do a fall garden last year, so it should be fun. Okay, now I have 2 different kinds of Brussels sprouts, so I'm going to go ahead and put 1 kind in each hole. So here's 3 seeds, because that's how many came out, of the Groninger on this side. I'll go ahead and tag that so I don't forget which one is which. I'm going to go ahead and write the tag for the other one. And then get some seeds. Oh, too many. I'll also do 3 of these ones. And go in the hole. There we go. Long Island Brussels sprout, Groninger Brussels sprout, Dazzling Blue kale, and Nero Toscana kale are what we have done so far. Now for these radish rows in the middle. Okay, the parsnips are 95 to 125 days, and those don't at all even come close to the short amount of time the radishes do, so I'm not going to put those in these beds, at least just yet, if at all. So I've got daikon radishes, French breakfast radishes. I think the other container of carrots was Imperator that I did, not Littlefinger actually. But I don't think Littlefinger is necessary for this one. I have this seed packet from Dollar Tree of Danvers half-long carrots, and those are obviously supposed to be like half a foot long, 6 inches, so I think I'll try those in here in one of them. And I'll do the Scarlet Nantes, whatever. I'll do these carrots in the other one. So we'll do the radishes first, the daikon on the edges. And radish seeds are fairly big, so you can kind of space them. You don't really have to thin them, which is what I'm going to do because it just hurts my heart to waste seeds. So I'm probably going to put 1 seed every 2 inches. Put 1 at the very edge of my line, and then go about 2 inches in. And just put another seed every couple inches. I think I got 6 in that. And then I'll do another 6 over on this side. 1, 2, oh, that was a little far apart. 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Put the extras back in the bag. Butterfly, get out of here. You don't need to pollinate my leg, okay? Go away. Well, looks like I did not bring enough tags out here. Well, maybe I brought just enough. We'll see. No, I think I brought... It's gonna be close. And then in the middle, we're doing French breakfast. So I'll just put one for the middle, because all three of these rows are going to be the same. Okay, that's the whole middle section done. Now we just have to do the 2 lines of carrots. These are the Scarlet Nantes, Scarlet Nantes, sure. Carrot seeds are terribly small, so these ones I am just gonna sow all the way across and then thin when they get sprouting. So I'm really gonna sow them pretty thickly, just to make sure I get a good enough spacing to where I'm not wasting any space. Okay, I'll do the tag real fast. To be consistent, I'll put it on the left side of the row. I smudged it a little bit, but that's okay. There's those carrots. And I'll do the tag for these while I'm at it. And put it on the left side over here. It was 68 degrees overnight last night, or at least when I went to bed it was 68. Oh, I think I'm going to use the rest of this pack of seeds, so that's cool. But that just means that the nighttime temperatures are actually starting to drop, even though it's still been 85 degrees throughout the day. It's starting to cool down at night. Well, I'm definitely overseeding this bit, but I don't want to leave 2 pinches of carrot seeds in a pack, and they're not accredited seeds, they're just from the Dollar Tree, so I figure the germination won't be as good on those ones anyway. Alright, there's those, and this is trash, so I'm going to stick it in my bucket. Alright, we got this whole bed planted, and I have the video to tell me what direction all the rows are going, so that's great. I need to reseed some of the carrots in the container with the Uzbek golden carrots. I don't know if they got displaced, or maybe I let the top of the soil dry out a little too much, but they did not germinate in the middle of the container, so I'm going to put more of those. And then we're going to seed a whole new container of oxheart carrots. So come with me over here. As you can see, these 2 rows germinated-ish. This middle one just did not. So I'm just going to dig a small trench in the middle. And also finish off this row with some more seed. And ironically, though, that really was all of the tags I brought out, so I still can't tag these containers. Oh, and this will finish off this seed pack. This is actually a free seed pack, and I have another one that was also a free seed pack, so I actually do have more of those. I got bit by a horsefly once today. I don't need that again. Nature, please. Okay, now we're over here at this container, and I'm gonna be planting the same way, so I'm just gonna dig a few trenches and then seed them with the carrots. These are small carrots, they're the oxheart carrots, so I think I'm gonna do more trenches than I did with the other ones. 2, 3, 4, 5. Do 5 trenches, I guess, and the other ones each only have 3. Take a pinch, sprinkle them in the trench, and continue on. And then just cover the trenches. Okay, there are the oxheart carrots. This container right here is all just volunteer basil. So I'm going to use the space that isn't filled with volunteer basil, because that's just less basil I have to plant, but I'm going to seed some touchstone gold beets. So I'm probably just going to pick out little clusters of the mulch and drop some beet seeds in there. So I'll do one right here, and right here. Never grown beets. I don't know what to do with them. I don't even know if I've ever eaten beets that weren't like purple pickled beets, which are gross. So I hope I can roast these or saute them in a way that I really enjoy them. But that's why I don't mind just growing like 4 of them, or 5 I guess, in a container, because I gotta start somewhere and I don't really know what to do with them yet anyway. I'm tearing up this seed packet, guys. I'm failing. I think beets are some of those types of seeds that can grow multiple beets from each seed, so I'm just going to put 1 in each hole. Just like that. And I'm going to cover them back up with just the tiniest bit of soil, because I'm going to put the mulch back on top of them. So now we've got some beets planted. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 8 a.m. garden walk. I did not finish that video the other day where we were planting carrots and stuff together, so I just thought I'd take you guys along with me on this morning's little garden walk so that I could finish the video and you can kind of see what's going on and maybe check on the things that we planted together. The first thing I normally do in the morning like this is just kind of walk through and make sure nothing is in dire need of harvest or water, or make sure things are properly trellised up on my strings. I fertilized the garden on the day that we were in here together, so I wanted to make sure and check on this pepper plant. It had really bad yellowing and veining in the leaves, which means there was a nitrogen deficiency, and that's why one of the reasons that I fertilized. And that's actually looking a lot more dark green on the very tops, if you can see. I don't know if you can tell, but I'll try to portray it for you. It was fairly cold overnight, like low 50s overnight last night. So I don't think the garden has had time to lose a lot of water. So I don't think I need to water. But if ever I am unsure, I just pull some of the mulch back and feel the soil, and yeah, that's pretty damp still. and I want to give these plants as much time as possible to soak in the nutrients from the fertilizer that I gave them without me giving them more sink water. So those are good for now, I think. But I did take a little second just to continue to wrap my cucumbers around these strings. They do have their own tendrils and will kind of attach themselves, but they will lean and attach themselves to a different string if I don't continue to wind them up, so I just go ahead and do it. Whereas these bees, I do not do that. They just are kind of a mat. They're just all together, and I'm fine with that. They don't have to be very individualistic for me to get peas from them, so that's fine. Also, these cucumbers have a few flowers on them already. That one too. I'm not going to prune any of the flowers off of these cucumbers because it is the second wave. It's the end of summer. I'm gonna be lucky if I get any cucumbers, let alone if I pick off the flowers at first. So I'm just gonna leave them there and go ahead and let them fruit, even though the plants are small. This okra is actually producing an okra also. That's cute. This is the large red cherry tomato that is now much past the top of the trellis, looking gorgeous. It is now getting into the time where the nighttime temperatures are in favor of this kale. I will probably have to defoliate it at least one more time and hope that it comes back well. I do have more kale planted, so it won't be a problem if this one doesn't survive, but I would like to keep all of these plants and say that I could keep kale alive through summer, so that'd be great. There's also some more in this container. It's the same thing, just chard and kale, that I'm not gonna do much with besides hope that the bugs don't eat it, defoliate it, and then let it grow again. Here are some more cucumber plants. See what I mean? This guy's connected to this string here, but he's leaning this way and has this tendril that is wrapped by a different tendril from a different plant. So I'm just gonna go ahead, doing it with one hand is a little bit difficult, and wrap it around just a bit so that I can kind of train it to go the way I want to. Same with this one. Put that leaf on that side and just wrap it. Oh, there's a spider web right there. Don't have any female flowers growing on these. Oh no, we have one female flower on this squash plant. This tomato on the right is the Dr. Wyche yellow tomato that I've been waiting for all the fruit on it to ripen, and all the fruit on it has officially ripened. So honestly, I could take this one out of the ground and get rid of it, but it's just holding on so well. Like, I know there's quite a bit of disease and stuff on it down here, but overall, if you ignore the very specific, like, this is a huge tomato plant that looks mostly really good. And the Dr. Wyche yellow tomatoes have been the best for me. They produce last, meaning it's the most recent fruit that I've been able to pick off, but at the same time, all the other tomatoes already stopped producing, so kind of the only tomatoes I've had recently, but they also taste the best and were the biggest of all the ones that I grew. So I'm pretty happy with those. I have tied up my sunflower because it was hanging in the pathway quite a lot and getting in the way. I also have stopped removing the mature heads, so I'm just kind of letting them go. And if I get volunteer sunflowers, then I get volunteer sunflowers. This squash plant has also rooted into this container and continued its growth over here. I've had 2 female flowers that seemed like they were going to make squash for me, and then they died. So apparently they didn't get pollinated well enough. I hand pollinated one of them, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. One of my strawberries is tipped over here, so I'm gonna put that back up. Must have been a cat or something. Rude little guys. I did get a little bit of this on camera, but it was just a very boring process, so I don't think I'm gonna include it here. But the same day that I planted those carrots and stuff, I up-potted a lot of these strawberry runners. I think there's 11 of them. I just have them in these smallish containers, and I used paper clips to just kind of staple them down into the soil, and I have them rooting. I'll probably leave them like this for at least 10 days, and then I'll snip its connection to the mother plant, and then I'll have brand new little strawberry plants. So there's a bunch. This one got pulled out or was dug in, I guess, so let's fix that. I do need to water these specifically. I don't think the whole garden needs water, but I do think these strawberry runners would benefit from some water. There we go. This Sugar Rush peach pepper is also starting to green up a lot. This one is like 50-50. This is kind of what the growth was looking like, and this is some new growth since fertilizing. And here, under this giant canopy of a squash plant, we actually have not one, this one here, but 2 little baby zucchinis growing. This one's not pollinated yet, so I hope it happens, but I have some decent hopes that I'll get some squash though. I don't have any carrot sprouts yet, which is normal. They take about 2 weeks to germinate usually. These are the best that my green beans have been doing all summer, and they have so many flowers on them, but all of the beans are really, really tiny still. So we've got all these flowers, but most of the beans are this size. This is a green bean, and this is a green bean. So none of those are ready to pick yet, but within the next few days I will have to start taking them off. Oh, here's a little bit of a bigger one. That's a green bean. Oh, here's a pole bean. I'm gonna redirect towards the trellis rather than suffocating these bush beans. I'm just gonna kind of weave it through the green beans that are already going up the trellis like that, and then it'll take to that and grow on up there. Man, I really like these ones. These are cool, how they kind of have like just a stem at the end where all the flowers are, and there's like beans opposite from each other. I think those are the, I don't remember exactly which kinds I planted in here. I'll have to look back at the video. I'm not sure, but they are adorable. They're so cute. And last but definitely not least, we have this big container that you guys and I seeded together. There are 2 Brussels sprouts, 2 rows of carrots, 5 rows of different kinds of radishes, and 2 kale plants. I don't think any of them have popped up yet. It's only been 2 days, so that means the kale and the Brussels sprouts should be coming up anytime, but the carrots can take up to 2 weeks to germinate, so I don't think those will be doing anything fairly soon. This is what the container looks like. This is dazzling blue kale, Groninger Brussels sprout, Long Island Brussels sprout, and Nero Toscana kale. And then the radishes are going this way. So this is a row of daikon radish. We've got 3 or 4, I don't remember, rows of French breakfast radishes, and then another row of daikon radishes over here. And under this is where I'm germinating the carrots, because carrots like a lot of moisture to germinate, and they also get very upset with you if the top of the soil dries out. So I just put these Happy Frog bags down on top to kind of hold moisture in. Alright guys, I know this video is kind of a jumble of different stuff. We did some planting together and then just kind of walked around the garden this morning, but that's what it is sometimes in between seasons when I don't have anything to harvest and I have to go to work soon. So I just wanted to give you guys a little update and finish this video. So thank you guys so much for coming along on my garden, and I'll see you on the next one.